today's presentation is done by Big Trav, as he goes. That's his handle on Discords and Telegrams and the like. And I'm gonna let him introduce himself because he's certainly into many different things. So I'm sure I will have not mentioned everything that he's capable of doing.
Awesome. Thank you, Martin. Thank you, Decentralized. I'm Travis Rice, government name. But I do go by Big Trav online in the Web3 space. I've kind of carved my niche out under that name. Today we're going to be talking about Nouns DAO, which I mentioned earlier is, I don't know what I told you, it's an NFT project. That's the base level. But what it is, in my opinion, is a community-owned brand, right? Just to take away all the Web3 stuff from it. I'll try to keep this as non-tech as possible. I'm not really a technical person. I'm an artist and a designer. But I've been in this space like 4 or 5 years now, so it just all starts to intertwine after a while. But Nouns DAO, like I said, is a community-owned brand. The DAO part of Nouns DAO is decentralized autonomous organization. Decentralized being not owned by a central entity, right? Basically, that's the community part, the decentralized part. Autonomous being things that run autonomously, thanks to the blockchain, which is why this is cool. It's built on top of the blockchain and allows it to exist in the way it does, and we'll get into that, the how and the whys. And then organization being the O, and that's also the community part. And like I said, it is a brand, it is an organization. DAOs, in my opinion, are going to be up there with LLCs and like nonprofits like 501. Yeah, just like that. Another form of organizations, right? Except now it's on the blockchain, and that allows a lot of cool things to happen because of that, and it allows a lot of transparency that we don't get traditionally with LLCs and nonprofits that anyone can access and see and also join and participate in. So that's why I like DAOs. I think that's really cool. That's one of the first things when I got into the Web3 space that was interesting to me when I understood the concept of DAOs. I'm not as active in a lot of NFT communities and things like that I was a part of when I first joined the space. Of course, when everybody was going to the moon about 4 years ago, a lot of those died down and everything. But Nouns actually came out of that time, and they're still here. And it's because of the way they did it. In my opinion, this is one of the best blueprints for a DAO that exists right now. And cool, couple things about Nouns before I start. Actually, will you see it? Okay, I'll let you know when not yet, but I'll tell you. One of the coolest things about Nouns to me is CC0. CC0 is all the assets are under CC0. All that means is it's in the public domain. So all the artwork, all the assets that people use to brand Nouns and do things with Nouns, anyone can use without any permission needed or any licenses or paying anything. You can go and use all of that. It's all open source. It's all available online for anybody to build with and spread the word of Nouns or create your own spin-off using Nouns assets, which I think is really cool. Like you don't see a lot of that with large brands, right? So yeah. Oh, also, and then so yeah, this is a Nounish combo and a beginner's guide to Nouns DAO and the Nounish ecosystem. And before I start, I want to read this quote from the founder of Nouns. I'm just on the website. I just lost it. Tapping too much. Yeah, Noun 4156 is their alias. It's one of the creators of this DAO. The quote is, what does it mean to be Nounish? And their answer was, do good with no expectation of return, create positive externalities, embrace absurdity and difference, teach people about Nouns and crypto, and have fun. And that's really like the ethos of this community, which is why I've been around still, even after everything else kind of fell out. This was one of those things that I like doubled down on. And so yeah, that's the intro, I guess. Can you get the first one? Thank you. So what is Nouns DAO? It's community-owned brand, like I just said. There's a daily NFT auction that funds a shared treasury. So Nouns DAO, every day, every 24 hours, every day there's an auction that starts and it goes for 24 hours. And anyone can bid on it if you have a wallet and some crypto in that wallet, Ethereum, because this is an Ethereum-based project. So you have to have Ethereum to participate as far as a membership goes. But every day there's an auction going on. If you go to nouns.wtf right now, there's an auction going on. The prices dropped significantly since it first started off. I think at the high, these things were going for like $40,000 every day. It was crazy. I just checked earlier and they're going for like 1 ETH, which is around like $2,500, I think, something like that right now. So that's every day, and 100% of those proceeds from each auction goes to a treasury. And everyone who holds one of these NFTs has access to that treasury, or a say in that treasury and where those funds go that are in that treasury. So the NFT that is auctioned is called a noun. They're these little pixel characters. So this is actually a noun. This is a character based off a noun, a little noun that I hold. A little noun is a sub DAO of nouns. I'll get into that later on in the presentation. There's a whole ecosystem of these things. But they're little pixelated characters that basically look like this. You can always recognize them because they'll have these glasses on with these big eyes. These kind of glasses, you'll see them a lot. I told one of my friends from New York, who was at Eat Denver with me earlier this year, he was just trying to get into the space, and he was like, why does everybody have these glasses? I'm like, what's up with the glasses? And he's from New York, and I was like, these are the Yankee fitted of Web3. I was like, it's basically the Yankee fitted. Like, that's the best way to describe it. They're called noggles. So like, these glasses are noggles. If you hear anybody talking about noggles, they're nounish, they're into this. That's what they're talking about, these glasses. So you see these glasses around, they use a little Unicode, all that online, you'll see them, that's what's going on. So yeah, you get the NFT, it's called a noun, and that noun gives you governance power, so you get a vote. One noun is one vote in anything that's going on in the nouns community. You also get a cool piece of artwork that's one of one, it's unique piece of artwork. All nouns are completely different, they're all one of one, they have different attributes. And then you get community access, it's a membership token. Like think your Soho houses and private member clubs like that. This is your membership to that community. And it just basically signals to people that you're into funding creative projects and the public goods and just that kind of culture, right? So I think that's what Nouns DAO is at.
Excuse me, I have a
Yeah.
question. So when you said auctions and crypto, does that mean that it's more like digital coins? Like, oh, so you bid on digital coins?
It's digital artwork, yeah. It's all digital, so there's nothing physical you have to get. You hold it in your wallet. I don't know if you're familiar with like MetaMask wallet or Coinbase wallet or things like that. So there's like a digital wallet.
Okay.
So if to do anything on blockchains, you gotta have to have a wallet first. That's literally the first step. Coinbase has a really good wallet. They've done a lot of upgrades where it's like logging into an email nowadays. But if you have a Coinbase account, you can get a Coinbase wallet. I think you might already have one if you have a Coinbase account. And you just load that wallet up with whatever cryptocurrency you need, depending on what transactions you're doing. In this case, Ethereum. So if you wanted to get into this, you would get a wallet, and then you would get some Ethereum in that wallet. You purchase Ethereum on Coinbase or whatever exchange, and then you load that into your wallet. And that's just as simple as using your wallet address they give you. It's kind of like Cash App or Venmo. You have a username, you get a wallet address, and you copy. That's where you get anything sent to. So if anybody's trying to send you crypto, you give them that address. If you're trying to send yourself some crypto from another wallet, you use that address. That make any sense? It's all just digital. It's all stored. It's like an account. It's like an account with anywhere else like you would
It's
have.
literally a wallet,
Mhm.
just in a digital form.
Okay, so like
Yeah,
it's more
with crypto.
digital coins like Bitcoin. And
Yep,
Right.
exactly.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
Yep, same thing. Just like with Bitcoin, you gotta have wallets.
Maybe mention what NFTs are, because I know you mentioned NFTs.
Got you.
Maybe-
Yeah, NFTs, they're just tokens. They're just tokens. Digital versions of like they're proof of ownership tokens. Really, it's like it's a token that proves you own whatever it is. So it's like a token that proves you own this artwork, essentially, right? Or a token that proves you're a member of this club. That's all they are. Sometimes it's art, sometimes it's membership, sometimes it's for carbon credits. They use NFTs for all kinds of stuff these days. Ticketing for events. But it's all digital. You use it as wallet. It's like a physical wallet with things you keep in it, like your license and stuff, except the digital version. So I don't know. Hopefully that.
Yeah,
All right, cool. Feel free to keep asking me questions because I love that.
Maybe like a baseball card.
Yeah, like if you're keeping like your cards in the folder, that would be your wallet in that case. Same thing. It's all digital. We can go to the next slide. So yeah. So what's the point of a noun? Well, like I said, if you're into art, it's a generative one-of-one piece of artwork, right? That's a really cool part of Web3 history because of the nature of this project. So you're holding something really cool if you're just an art collector in itself, or just a collector of any kind of collectibles, Labubus, whatever. I was like, this is Labubu. You know what I'm saying? it's a cultural signal, like I was saying, and membership. And you get your voting in the DAO. And that voting, that membership also gives you access to this treasury, which has millions of funds, millions of dollars in funds right now. I checked earlier, I cannot remember the total amount right now. I'll do this after this, so we can just see how much money is in the Nouns treasury, so you guys can get an idea of like, this is a real brand, this is a big brand.
When did you say they started?
Like 3 years ago, they just had their 3rd anniversary last year, I would say. So we're going on 4 years of Nouns DAO. And the members are called Nouners amongst the circle of Nounish people. And being a Nouner, you can propose ideas depending on how many tokens you have. So how many NFTs you hold. They have it, it's really weird kind of thing because this project is infinite, right? So there's an auction that goes on every day, like I said, but this will go on forever, like forever, because of how it's built, and it's on the blockchain. That's the autonomy we're talking about. It's set up where nobody has to go and make sure it's already set up, it's already built, and people can continue to work on it if they propose.
Is the DAO hosted on like a Discord server, or how do we get it?
Okay, that's great. Yeah, so there are Discord for the community. That's more just a community place for people to organize and talk and discuss things that are going on. But everything's on chain. They have a website, and I'll give you a resource link at the end of this so everybody can go access all these links of things I'm talking about. But there is a Discord community, which is where a lot of the conversation goes on, but all the action goes on chain, like on the Ethereum blockchain. And you can go and see all the past votes, what's coming up, like you can see everything because it's on the blockchain, and make sure there's all transparency. Like anyone could go, if you have a link, you just go look and see what's going on in the past, what's going on now, who voted for what, why, things like that.
So the blockchain is an app or a service?
No, okay. The blockchain is a ledger. It's somewhere it's just a digital ledger. It's just storing record of things that are going on, like you would do pen and paper ledger, right? It's a digital version of that, but it's not owned by anybody. It's owned by everybody who uses it.
It's accessed, it is a ledger that's accessed through a website. It's hosted online, like a link. So it's just like how you get onto Google or anything like that.
Network. I gotta speak your language. Network. Yeah, there we go. Thank you. Yeah, it's just that, but it's not owned by any one person. It's community owned, and so many things are built on top of it.
It's public. Anybody can see the transactions on that blockchain.
But
Depending on
just
what.
to be clear, that they are enterprise private blockchains and they are open public blockchains,
They are both.
depending on structure, right?
Yes, depending on what chain.
And basically what Travis has mentioned, right, like think about two different functions that DAO can have. So one is more like this community just exchanging information, but then when you are trying to take an action, that's where the governance piece comes in, and that's why you need to have token for that DAO to be able to cast a vote.
Yeah, when real things are going on, it's like any business, right? Like if it's time to launch a new product or do something marketing wise, like things like those conversations about it go on like in a Slack. But then the actual action or the money moving to do these things and who the money's going to and like the accountability for this person, all that's going on chain, on the blockchain.
And you said you can see the trail of all the decisions they've made in the past. Right now.
Which is the cool thing about the blockchain. Because in a normal business, you don't get to see what Red Bull is doing, like who's doing all that for Red Bull. You can't go on their website and see what Nike did for their campaign. But for Nouns or any DAOs like that on chain, you can go to the website and you can see all the transactions of the whole history of this organization. And that's what I think, that's why I said earlier what I said about LLCs and nonprofits and DAOs being eventually, I think, being in that trajectory to be on par with those, because people are gonna get to the point where they're like, yeah, we should know more about these things that we're investing so much in. Like we should have access to see these things. At least that's how I feel. So yeah.
And it's also immutable, so you cannot change it. So once it's registered, you will see any change to whatever, decision or amount of money was made, right?
Yeah, it's really hard to hack in cybersecurity. People hack things, but like the blockchain itself, like pretty much can't hack a blockchain. There are some blockchains who have been hacked. There are different type of blockchains. There are some. What was Axes? I don't know if you remember. It was like a gaming blockchain. They had like one of the biggest hacks. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That was like about 2 years ago, maybe like.
Yeah, something like
Yeah, it was insane. It pretty much killed that project. But they had their own blockchain, I think, or something like that. So it's hackable depending on what the style of the blockchain or the blockchain.
And the
Sometimes it's the exchange that gets hacked and then.
Right.
that or when you have bridges between two
Right.
different blockchains, that's
People
usually when
hack
the
it.
vulnerability is being exploited.
Yeah, there are vulnerable places that people exploit because hackers are going to be hackers, right? You're going to find something. Nothing's perfect, but I think overall blockchains have solved a lot of those problems. It's not perfect yet. I think we're far from it, but we're getting there. And I think this was just in general, this is a good step forward with security on the internet. And like I said, transparency and things like that. Somebody.
Would you say it's kind of like the back end to like seeing what's behind the front end of things,
Yep.
but all digitally?
Yeah, the blockchain is definitely back end. It's just like I said, it's a ledger. It's just
Yeah.
the back end of all the stuff that you see going on. You can just go and check it out.
I mean,
no,
honestly,
that's-
yeah.
That's already
A lot of like the Rotary organizations or like charities are starting to use blockchain because it gives you not only live ledger that anyone can check. So like, you know, if I want to donate to Red Cross and I want to see truly where the money is going,
Yeah.
so give you full
It's
transparency.
encouraging, yeah, but
Yeah.
that's everyone's suspicions with charities. It's like where it's going now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Obviously being transparent.
I
It's
think I want to say
encouraging.
UNESCO was exploring blockchain as a tool to do fundraising and to sort of, you know, and you also have a live ledger, which means, like, I'm not saying you don't have to have accountants, but you have every single transaction, so it's much easier to run a report and like file something, right? So it makes compliance easier.
Yeah, I see.
Especially when you combine that with AI now, right? You can quickly, everything's already there organized. You can fill something and just and give you a report and all those kind of things. Really cool things going on right now at that intersection.
The visual I like for that is think of it like a Excel spreadsheet, and each cell is a block, and they're connected with cryptography, and the whole chain secures itself, right? You can't change one of the cells, or you'd have to change the whole thing.
Everything.
And that's what makes it secure is you can. It would take a lot of processing
To change one thing.
to hack all that math that made it so solid.
And everyone's watching it at the same time.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Well, it's distributed. It's the copy of that of a block. It's like with Bitcoin. Why is it so large? Why is it so energy hungry, right? Because every single copy of that blockchain is on every single node in the world. So the more nodes is being added, the more copies of the blockchain. So imagine, even if you compromise 1,000 of those computers, you still have 10,000 more that have a copy of all the blockchain. That's why it's so energy demanding in that case. But there are other blockchain structures that maybe a little bit more like Bitcoin is going to be very hard to compromise because of the fact that you just have a gazillion of copies
so
of
much
all
built
data.
on it, like it's so
Yeah,
foundational.
you would have to
that
crack
it's
every single
That's the whole
so
node.
many
Wow.
layers
Yeah.
to get to the root
Exactly.
of it. I see.
It's a security thing. It's
Cool.
kind of that's those
So
are
the
the
newer
perks.
ones are more vulnerable. The newer ones are more vulnerable.
No, there are different
It's a lot of
structures.
good, yeah.
There's different security sort of. It's like a trifecta for a blockchain. I don't want to destroy this
Oh, yeah.
conversation, but there's trifecta to any blockchain, and you never can have all three met. So which is like scalability, security. You always compromise one out of the three, depending on the structure, right? Because they're secured by different means. Sometimes they're secured by the tokens for that are native to the chain. Sometimes by the amount of nodes you have. So it kind of depends which you're choosing, whether you're on a scale, because you know, like Bitcoin is slower because you have a copy on every single computer, so it just takes longer, right? Like it's just the logic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but those are the perks of the blockchain. I'm glad we just got to do that. Yeah. Yeah, those are the like I said, everything has pros and cons. It's not perfect, but there's a lot of perks. Just a lot of improvements. If you look at how we've been doing things online, so that's why one of the reasons I'm really bullish on blockchain stuff. Yeah, well, Nouners. Oh yeah, so depending on, Nouns has this like scaling kind of thing as the membership amount grows because over time there will be more tokens out in the world. There's more members. I don't know if it's still two. One Noun gets you one vote, right? You can vote on anything that's going on chain with Nouns if you have one token. To propose things on chain, you have to have at least two. It might be three now. and that grows with the amount, that number of tokens needed to propose grows with the DAO as the DAO grows in size. So it's kind of a security thing too, I guess. But so yeah, 2, you can propose ideas, and if you don't have 2, you can find someone who has 2 as a sponsor, and they can propose on your behalf. I've had to do that, and you can propose all kinds of things. Nouns has an esports team. They have named new species of frog, built schools in Africa, funded sub-DAOs and other communities to do their own kind of experiments in a similar way as this. And I'll talk more about that too. Open source software, anything that's for public good, Nouns is always with it. So yeah, that's just a couple of the things that Nouns has done, why you should get a Noun if you are interested. We can go to the next slide. And then how the treasury works, like I said, they're funded by the daily auctions. They're 24-hour auctions, so once an auction kicks off, it goes on for 24 hours. Most people don't bid to the end, like the last couple minutes, of course, right? But then, like some days, those get really crazy. Like I said, the height of it was like, you see the amount of those things going, I'd be like, dude, how? And I knew it couldn't sustain, but it was just wild to see. And for the record, I don't own a Noun. I own Lil Nouns, right? So I'm in the ecosystem because Lil Nouns was the first fork of Nouns, and it's a more accessible way to get Nouns. And their original reason of existence was to make it more accessible to own a Noun. So they were a group of people who were, as a group, buying Nouns and putting in their treasury. So their treasury was made up of a lot of Nouns, so people could then own a Noun. So I technically own Nouns through Lil Nouns, right? So we have voting that we do as a group for the larger community. So some people might, because like I said, it was $40,000. Like, I don't have $40,000 to spend on a Noun. If I had $40,000 to spend on a Noun, I would not spend it on a Noun. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being honest. But I have a couple thousand I would spend on a Lil Noun. If you guys are gonna buy, 10 Nouns, I'm down. And so that's how I even got in the system, in the ecosystem. I hold Lil Nouns. This character is actually one of my Lil Nouns. And now I'm in Lil Nouns. I'm also in Public Nouns. I'm in Blunt DAO, and I think that's it.
And these are all sub-DAOs?
All sub-DAOs, and I'll cover that. Yeah, I'll cover that in a couple slides. But yes, so. Proposals are submitted, I talked about that. Proposals go on chain for voting. Oh, also, so another way to be involved if you don't have a Noun, they do these things called rounds, which was also funded by Nouns at some point. Somebody proposed this and they built this website called Rounds. And so now people can propose to Nouns to fund different rounds for different things. And so there might be an art round, right? And they're looking for art that, proliferates the Nouns brand, right? And somebody will say, hey, we need like 2 ETH for this round. And we'll put 2 ETH in that round, and anyone could propose or submit for that, whether you have one or not, and then it's voted on still by Nouns holders. So you might not be able to vote, but you can at least submit in that case. Does that make any sense? I know that kind of sounded weird even coming out.
So for sub-DAOs you can submit, but for the actual DAO you cannot unless you have 2.
For rounds.
For rounds.
I'll show, hopefully we'll have the time. I'll show you rounds when I'm talking about it. It'll make sense if you see a picture. I think it'll make a little bit more sense.
So Nouns makes like a general allocation, like artwork, and they put some money, and then anyone can submit a proposal, and then whoever wins gets that pile of money. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay.
Anyone can submit whether you have a Noun or not in those rounds, but it's only voted on by the token holder still.
Right.
You can't vote, but you can at least submit.
Okay.
Where if it was just on chain, like straight to Nouns, you would have to have Nouns tokens to at least even submit your idea.
And do you know, is to get the tokens the only way to actually to action?
Or you can buy them on the secondary
That's what I
market.
wanted to ask.
Yeah, people don't really put them on the secondary market because they're like, they don't go up, they're not a good flip because they auction every day. So they're not
They're like
something you flip.
utility tokens.
Yeah, they're a membership token. So you don't really see a lot on secondary.
So when we say secondary, it's like you can go on an exchange of some sort and buy it, right?
And buy it from someone who owns it. Instead of buying it from Nouns, you can buy it from somebody who already bought it from Nouns and they're selling it on their own. Like a reseller, like a secondhand, yeah. But you don't see a lot. That's big in the Web3 space and NFTs. You see a lot of people doing their own secondhand stuff, especially with collectibles. But because it's more membership token than a collectible, you don't see a lot of that with Nouns in particular. You had a question?
Yeah. So to kind of like get into the proposals and everything, you have to buy a Noun on the auctions. How much do they cost?
Right now they're like 1 ETH, like around 1.5 ETH. I think the last couple of days, and ETH is at like what, like 2,500, something like that right now. So about 2,500, maybe like 5,000 at the most right now. But like I said, there's also sub DAOs. There's like Lil Nouns and things like that. That's like a couple $100 now. I'll put, like I said, I'll try to give you this like a pull up stuff.
Some nouns are bigger than others.
Some nouns are bigger than others. Some nouns are bigger
You
than
said
others.
one's 40,000.
Yeah, right. So you got nouns, and then you got, like I said, all these sub DAOs. There's a whole ecosystem now. So yeah, we can go to the next slide.
I wonder what
It's
they
like
are.
buying a Lexus or buying a Toyota.
Which
The problem is those projects start, right, and then people start to come up with other ideas,
Mhm.
and then they almost have to do sub DAOs to fit this into the structure. So it's usually an afterthought. It's not something that you necessarily come up with
Originally.
originally.
Yeah, it just kind of happens. But
Yeah.
because of the nature of
Ethereum's
nouns,
done it, like a whole bunch of, for many different reasons, because they would try to add another technology to expand, and then you need a separate token for it, and then you start to go into sub DAOs.
100%. But I will talk. I'm going to talk about the perks of that, the sub DAOs in a second, because there's a really cool thing that I like about the sub DAOs. So can you be nounish without owning a noun? Yes. You can be nounish without actually owning a noun. I am proof of that. You can collaborate with other nouns holders on bigger proposals. So there might be a proposal going on or just got passed that you see on their website, and you say, "Oh, this is cool." You can reach out to whoever is a part of that project and lend a hand or do whatever, because like sometimes they might have funding for extra hands, you know, like I know when I did last summer we did a grant program with Public Nouns, which is subbed out, and a part of that funding was the extra hands I needed to go out to the Nouns town, which is like a Nouns meetup, to give out merch and things like that, because it takes more than one person to do stuff successfully a lot of times, right? So you can participate with other people's ideas that are in the DAO. You can join the sub DAO like Lil Nouns, Public Nouns, or Gnars, or you can help execute existing funded projects. Like I just said. You can go to the next slide. So Nounish DAOs. You got Lil Nouns, which I mentioned, which I'm a member of. That was my first Nounish DAO. I just told you guys their reason for existence. Now their reason for existence is not so much to own nouns collectively, which I think is not a good thing, because they don't have a clear reason for being, which causes a lot of confusion in the DAO. And a lot of proposals tend to conflict with other people's reason for being, and so you see a lot of things get rejected and turned down a lot. If you look at all their transactions, you see a lot of like rejected stuff didn't pass through the public, because you have so many members that are just like, no, I don't want to do that, I don't want to do this, because we don't have a clear flag of why we're all here anymore, in my opinion. You got Nouns DAO, which is what I was talking to you about. The founder's from Australia. His name is Gami. Is an extreme sports based DAO. So they're basically, I think originally they were trying to be like a Red Bull competitor, like fun extreme sports and athletes without like having a product that was bad for you, like an energy drink like that. And they got funded. They were one of the first sub DAOs funded from Nouns to launch their thing. So they got funded. I don't remember how much ETH it was. Maybe like 69 ETH or something crazy like that. At the time when ETH was like 4K. Yeah, it was like at the height. So they launched, and Bob Burnquist, I don't know if you guys are familiar with him, he's a really famous skateboarder. He's a member of Nouns DAO. They sponsor all kinds of surfers. Anybody's doing extreme sports and action sports, that's their whole thing now. So if you're into that, Nouns DAO is a great place to look at. Nouns Amigos is a Spanish-speaking Nouns DAO. I don't know if they were funded from Nouns when they first launched, but I know they do a lot of collaborations with Nouns and other Nouns DAOs. They're really big in like Central America and a lot of cities down there. They're turning that whole area Nounish. So if you're Spanish speaking and you're looking for those kind of communities to help out, because a lot of that stuff is just like translating all the English stuff that's going on in these communities. That, you know, a lot of their work, they do that. You can propose to, hey, I can speak this language, I'll help you, whatever. So that's Nouns Amigos. Public Nouns, which I'm a member of, and I've done a collaboration with them with a brand I built called Public Goods Club. So it's public goods focused Nouns DAO. So open source software, public parts, libraries, public art, things like that that are accessible for everyone. They fund those kind of ideas and support those kind of projects. And then you got Blunt DAO, which is another community I'm a part of. Anybody want to guess what Blunt DAO is about?
On-chain cannabis.
Boom, cannabis. Yeah, they're onboarding people to Web3 using cannabis, right? So they do a lot of smoke outs and things like that. When we were in Belgium last summer, we did an event. They were outside of our event. We did a summit inside. And they took the park over outside. They did like a 3-4 hour smoke out. They just gave away a bunch of free weed and like just had a big smoke out. But all like you meet so many founders and all these people in the space who are like, yeah, they smoke cannabis. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll come get a free joint from this NFT community. And you have these conversations about what's going on in the space right now. Like these projects, you're exchanging this information. You're meeting a lot of people. So that's their whole. It's always crazy. It's like one of those projects where people are like, what? And I'm like, they're one of the best communities in the space, and they have a very clear mission. You know what you're getting with Blunt DAO. That's the thing. It's like there's no confusion.
The country where it's legal.
Yeah, there's no confusion with Blunt DAO.
You're like, you're my neighbor.
Yeah, right. They have one of the most like.
Now you know why there's circles.
Yeah, for sure. So all the stoners of Web3 are all part of Blunt DAO, and they have like I said, they have a really cult following. Like Blunt DAO events are always a lot. I met you at a Blunt DAO. Like and people who don't even smoke are just at Blunt DAO events because there's like all the school people around. There's food, you know. It's a good time. They're very lax people, so they always have good parts. But they're Nounish because they were built using Nouns Builder, which is I'll share that in the resource page at the end of this. But Nouns Builder was funded through a proposal from Nouns DAO to basically copy and paste the Nouns model, and you can customize it however you want to launch your own Nouns DAO. So they were one of the first DAOs that launched using that tool. So you can go on there. If you don't want to do every 24-hour auction, you can do once an hour. You can do every 15 minutes, whatever. You can even change from Ethereum to Base, like other blockchains. It's like a YouTube, like, you know, you can go customize your own video setup and upload your own, but it's for launching a DAO. So Blunt DAO used that, and that's why they're down. And yeah, we can go to the next slide.
And just to interject what he was referring before, saying about forking, that's basically what forking means. It's when you take existing structure of a blockchain, it's open source, you're making a copy of it to build something of your own. So they basically, a lot of the blockchains allow you to do that. You just take the full structure, however they build it, and make a copy and make it something of your own.
Yeah.
The template.
It's like a
They go template, yep.
That's perfect.
And that's the cool that's the nature of them being CC0. It's all open source. It's all available for whoever. And like, just go for it. If you got an idea, somebody say, you know, we should make this a template for everybody to launch a DAO like this, depending on what they want to do. That's what they did.
Is the template the structure, or is it also the branding? This is like, do you carry the branding with you, or do you carry just the structure?
That's a great question. It's both.
Okay.
You definitely get the structure, which is
Yeah.
the most important part. It's all the smart contracts that make all this autonomous stuff work.
Yeah.
But you can use the branding. A lot of people use the branding, or at least the noggles. Most of the sub DAOs use noggles at least. But sometimes they don't at all. There's a DAO called Purple DAO, which is the first DAO that launched using that Nouns Builder tool. But their token is just a purple square, and it's every day. There's no other artwork. It's just a purple square every day. Yeah, and it's the same artwork, purple square, but their mission is to support and proliferate this app called Farcaster, which is an on-chain social platform. But yeah, they didn't use the noggles or any of the artwork at all. They just used the structure.
So after they get the structure on the template and they built the thing, let's say they don't do any like the noggles thing, does anything they do funnel back to Nouns?
It can, if they set it up to.
Oh,
They
but
say
it
they want
has
to give a
to.
percentage of every auction. They want to give a percentage back to the treasury for Nouns.
But they can, but it's not built in.
It's not required.
It's not required. It's
It's
built in,
required.
but you can customize.
That's what I mean.
It's fully
It's not
customized.
required. Okay.
It's
So
fully
you can
customized.
you can just like take almost like their business structure, let's say, in like a regular world, and just
Do your own thing and
do
never
your
acknowledge it.
own thing
Never acknowledge it.
completely.
It's completely fine.
Because
Wow.
that's the CTO
It's open source.
part.
That's the open
Yeah.
source part. It's
Yeah.
open source.
It's
This is
for
like
anyone.
public, you know how when songs at a certain time they go into the public
Domain.
Domain.
Yeah.
It's the
Same.
same thing.
Mhm.
It's for up for
But you
use.
can't make it your
So,
own.
what do you think
Like, you still have to
inspired
copy
them
it.
to like make
You
this
have to
folder
have
and
it.
It's open. It's
make
open source.
them
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
want to have like replications of the DAO? Like, what do you think was the
That's the nature of the community. They're all about access and public doing things for
It's-
public.
yeah.
Ooh,
It's
that's
true.
true. It's like too good to be
It's
true. It's like,
literally that.
where is the catch? I don't
Yes.
understand
There's
it.
no
But
catch.
also,
There is no
I know,
catch.
but you get taught in life that, you know, if it seems to be
It's really to
true.
build a community at the end.
No, I know, it's
Yeah.
beautiful.
But
It's really, that's
also-
fire.
But it's also recognition, right? Like if
Yeah.
someone's
That's
gonna
what I'm saying.
copy my DAO 50 times and they're gonna know that it's
100%.
my DAO they copied, but kind of gives you.
It's very
some
full of
legitimacy.
people. I feel like we've
It
come
is.
so far
But you
away
also-
from that. It's so nice that
That's
that
decentralized. That's decentralized.
Oh, wow.
That's why we're here.
Yes.
There's a
Yes.
lot to it.
For resetting
Sometimes-
things.
Yeah,
It's a
for
reset.
real though.
It's
Because
a
usually the
reset.
reset
It's a
is like
flywheel.
someone
It's
back
basically
still
flywheel.
like doing the thing, like it's for the people, but there's still there's someone back
also-
here.
but
That's
I
why it's
think-
decentralized, because it relies on the people
Exactly.
and the thoughts of the people collectively
community owned.
together, right?
But
You
people
gotta
don't
work
have
together.
to. People don't have to participate like this and give. They don't have to. They don't have to silver platter give
Right.
it to you like this.
Oh, but think about a structure like even with Noun, right? Like the I guess some of the transactions are paid in Ethereum, right?
Mhm.
So in a sense, this is almost like, I don't know if this is considered layer 2, but you're almost building on the top of Ethereum, so you're using the native coin.
Yeah.
So ultimately, you're buying into that coin,
Mhm.
but oftentimes with that you also get security of the original network.
Yeah.
That kind of will give you the security, because it's, it's very hard to have individual blockchain.
Yeah.
Very difficult to do, there's a lot of legalities involved, and very hard to secure it. So if you have a main chain that's recognizable, they have a huge development team, and they are providing the security layer, and you sort
Yeah,
of using
I
a
see.
token
Yeah.
to sort of pay for all of this in a sense. So there's a little bit more to it, but in general, yes, you can just copy this for free and build on your own.
No cash. Yeah.
So, what kind of projects are like I do, like tech or art projects?
All of them.
All of them.
Whatever
okay.
people submit. Okay, so this is what I was saying a slide ago about having a reason for being, a very clear reason for being. These are decentralized brands, right? This is a new thing. There's no one owner, right? So everybody has to do this work. And running a brand requires a lot of marketing a lot of times. To grow a brand, it requires marketing. All of this benefits now is to just give this stuff away and let other people keep using it, keep building it, and spreading it, because it's marketing at the end of the day. It's all just marketing this community ultimately. Which some people will see and go, oh, that's cool, I want to just be a part of that one. You know what I'm saying? Or you might just find a smaller one, you're like, I don't care about that. But it all works because more people are falling into this whole ecosystem. And I don't know, I just think that's super cool. I just think that's super cool. And like I said, depending on what community you're in, there might be certain things that they want more. There's Builder DAO, which is more devs and tech focused, things like that. There's art-based sub DAOs and things like that. There's, like I said, Pizza DAO, which you were at, and you were there, and you were there, which is they're not a Nouns DAO, but they do a lot of collaboration with Nouns. Nouns funds a lot of their events. Pizza DAO is a community that is just giving the world free pizza. They just want to provide pizza wherever pizza's wanted.
Bitcoin
it's
pizza
fun.
day.
Commemorate
pizza
the
day.
first
Pizza
purchase
Monday
with
every year.
Bitcoin.
Yes.
That's actually-
Where?
So they do a global
do it
Bitcoin
everywhere.
Pizza Day.
May
March-
22nd, right?
May 22nd every year.
Every year.
Wherever you're at. Well, I think they did like 800 cities this year.
Yeah.
It grows every year. 5
Around
years.
the world.
Around the world.
Around the world.
But like, do they come here?
They have Houston. We
So
were all
it's
there.
done by the people, so.
Oh, okay.
So you're
you
basically-
you
it's the same
bring it on,
concept.
it's
So
in that same
everyone,
kind of
like
way.
all over the world, just
People
Yes,
in the
That's
DAO
awesome.
say,
Lift
I
lift
want
the
to
holds
do
the
my city.
flag for Pizza DAO in their city, and
Yeah.
if we wanna say next weekend we're all linking up for a Pizza DAO, whatever we can
Write a
apply,
proposal, and they will
write a
fund it.
proposal, they'll vote, they'll fund it, we'll buy local pizza and eat it.
But I guess there's more to it, right? Like
Yeah.
you are sponsoring local businesses because
Yeah.
you're doing these different
Right.
pizzerias
That's
all
the
over the
plan.
world, right? So
Yeah.
there's a little bit more to it.
Mhm.
But I think to zoom out this whole conversation, just DAO in general, right? Like Trump mentioned, versus something like LLC, right? I mean,
Right.
you're changing
Business
organizational structures. That's the whole concept. Here you're talking about each community member in a DAO. It's an equal participant, right? Where in any kind of organizational structure as it is today, for the most part, you have a CEO, right? You have managers, VPs. You have a whole structure. You don't have that structure
None of
right
that.
here. As long as you're participating on a certain level, where you're doing developmental work, where you're buying a NFT, whatever it is that drives this DAO or that drive funding, for exchange you're getting those tokens to vote, which is the government's part, right? So if you're participating, and it's not always monetary. With some DAOs it might be your actual physical work, coding, whatever, however you're participating, that you're getting tokens of an exchange. That allows you then to govern that DAO and make your proposals, right? Like something that you would wanna see to be put forward, that can be voted on. So there are different structures to it, but the concept is taking the regular structure organization where you have like top down versus here having everyone on the same level having the same power to vote. I mean, of course, you have to contribute in some way, that either monetary or via work, so that you have the voting power, right? But that's sort of the difference between, I guess it changes the organizational structure. That's kind of the.
100%.
And everything is basically blockchain smart contract oriented. So when funds are distributed to whatever on a DAO, it'll automatically be done because it's on that smart contract. So just think of
It's basically code, like code
Yeah.
executes
Code.
everything. on
it's
the
a
ground,
structure,
right?
business structure ran by code.
Ran
Like
by
a
code.
LLC ran on its own by code.
It just
But-
initiate, all the actions are initiated by the people.
Right.
But it's all done through code.
I mean,
That's
so
not
the
fine.
execution is by code, right? But the decisions are still made by humans.
Correct.
Humans that put work or money because they buy some kind of pixel or whatever, right? So you have to participate in that community in some form to get those governance token, let's just call them like that. So then you have the power to either put proposals forward, like in this case, right? Or be able to vote on it, right? But in general, it's supposed to be a democratic structure for organization.
Okay.
And you could have like a different purpose other than just making money. Like a company,
Right.
like
Yeah,
a
they can
corporation
be
has to
multiple,
make money.
yeah.
Like they have to do everything to make money.
Mhm.
And with a DAO, like you can define your purpose to be different things.
I mean, there's a
I wonder-
nationwide organization called, yeah,
Yeah.
there's a nationwide organization called City DAOs.
Yeah.
Each
Yes.
city has it,
Yeah.
right? And these are different projects. I mean, anything from sewer sensors to like, I mean, this is going much further, right? Like you can put government, honestly, community on it, or like think about like an HOA. So instead of having like 3
Yes,
HOA
that's a great
in your
example.
neighborhood, you can now
Making it
whoever
happen.
wants to somehow participate, maybe walk around and, flag whoever house doesn't have a grass cut or whatever, right? A token for it, that you can then use to vote for something that you wanna see in your
No
community.
more HOA meetings, you just vote.
Right.
Right?
Just
Or
vote.
trade
Exactly. There you go.
It just makes everything run a little bit.
I love it.
Or
I
it
like
can
when
make
you-
things run smooth.
When you came back from one of the trips that you're on, I feel like what I really like about Nouns DAO and the flag that you hold for this is crypto ultimately has like this degen concept of taking and being hackers and getting this underground money, and this really represents more of a region take where it's
Yeah.
we're giving into this. Like that's the whole point of Nouns is having fun, being creative. It's community based. So to me, that's what's exciting and kind of like gave me that same reaction you had. I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah. No, Pizza DAO was one of
Just
those
good.
first ones for me.
I mean, in
Yeah.
a sense, think like about organization and having stockholders, right? I mean, here you are buying actual stock with money, but here you have a different way of being able to enter to be a member of the structure of this organization, and it's not always monetary. There are other ways to enter it, right? Depending on the DAO structure, and yeah, there can be DAOs for almost
Anything. If you want to launch a Nouns DAO using the building to fix sewers in Houston, you can do it. They would probably fund you. So now as far as Houston goes, right?
So it's kind of
I
like
did some
you
digging. No.
propose things to change something
Yes.
and you get funded.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very much about, like the best comparison I think to what we have now is grants, like being given
Grants.
Yeah.
grants,
Mhm.
but with a little bit different structure, a little bit more democratic structure. I would
Yeah.
say.
Right, and it's
So, like,
released more immediately too, because you have to go through
Yeah.
the process. Sometimes the
Yeah.
grants take
Well, a couple
years
days.
and stuff.
It's like a couple days, but it's
Right.
immediately, like pretty
It's not,
much.
you have to wait. Once they vote, boom, it's, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
there's
1 to
gonna be
2
structure,
In
there's
comparison
gonna
to
be,
traditional.
there's gonna be set
Right.
of rules written into it, and as you vote on those different proposals, as they come forward, and I'm sure each DAO is gonna have, you can put one proposal once a month, once a week, whatever your structure is. But I mean, I've seen several different DAOs, right? As it changes, as it grows, there's gonna be proposal. Maybe you could only submit proposal once a month, but now people see that, there's just not enough, but this is just not enough. Now, people want things to happen faster, so now let's say they are doing proposal that we want, proposal to be submitted on a weekly basis, right? And you have a voting. So it's always it's almost like a referendum. Like some countries use referendums to vote on certain civic proposals. That's the same kind of concept, right? It's almost like you're having a referendum within a certain community, for whatever reason the community was created, right? To sort of be able to get the best consensus that you possibly can with members that want to participate in it, right? To sort of get as much feedback as possible, right?
Like a town
To
hall.
come up with some kind of plan of whatever it is that you're trying to execute.
And they do have town halls. They do like all these
Yeah.
Discord calls and things like that, like weekly. A lot of those DAOs do that, so you can just kind of see what's going on. You want to just pop in, just get the like TLDR, what we're doing this week or whatever. It's like I said, it's really cool.
Very community.
I'm gonna get through these last couple slides so we can maybe pull up some of these sites or something. But yeah, Houston, as far as Houston goes, I haven't seen anything nounish in Houston. I didn't find anything about anything nounish in Houston in the communities I'm in. So that just means there's opportunity here. Hopefully somebody's inspired here to do something nounish. I don't know. You could pitch a Nouns DAO to Nouns for Houston. Austin has ATX DAO, and I don't want to say this wrong. I don't think they're nounish, but they tried. I know they proposed like a $250,000 proposal or something like that, like a year or two ago, to launch a Nouns DAO for Austin, for the city of Austin. It did not go through. And I want to say they had a unique form of auction that they were also proposing that they had created in that, but it didn't go for whatever reason. But Austin has attempted, and they might be nounish. Maybe they used the Nouns builder afterwards. I don't really know. I didn't look too deep into it. But that's as close as I found. You can host a nounish meetup. This is a nounish meetup. I did not propose any funding for this, but maybe retroactively I will. I do a lot of kind of workshops and I always sprinkle Noun in there, so I can probably package all those up at some point. But hey, I did this, and this. You guys want to retroactively fund me to do this, or maybe to do another series and like maybe all over Texas, they might be interested in funding that, or Lil Nouns or public Nouns. You could use the CCO zero access assets and Nouns.build to start something yourself. So you can launch your own Nouns DAO using their artwork and their platform. You can just launch a H-Town Nounish DAO today if you wanted to.
Hang on, so like they buy artwork. You said one of the things that they buy is artwork, right? And they put it in public domain that you can.
Their artwork is already in public domain.
He's talking about their branding.
Oh, their brand. Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, I think it's, like I said, I think Houston's a great place for it. We got these, there's a lot I've learned in the last couple of months. I've been here for a year and a half, I'm still new. But I've learned in the last couple of months, there are Web3 communities here, right? So I think this is a great city for, some Nounish vibes, personally, just from what I've seen and just like me participating in the ecosystem of Nouns over the last couple of years, it's like, why not? Other cities do it, and it's working out great for them and their communities, and it really helps. Like I said, Nouns is one of those cool projects that like, it doesn't turn people away from crypto. It's one of those things like, you don't, what's going on? And once you figure out, like, that's what's going on, a lot of people emotionally are like, oh, this is cool, how can I participate, right? Which is why I'm here today doing this. So, we can go think about it. Yeah, so final thought. Nouns is one of the most iconic CC0 projects in Web3. Really one of the most iconic projects in Web3. You don't have to own a Noun to make an impact, you just have to start building. That's all you want, start building. And a lot of times, if you go there and it doesn't have, they're not rocking whatever your idea is first, probably because you haven't built enough, they haven't seen you building enough, right? Just keep doing it. If you're an artist, make some artwork, show how you like integrate something that proliferates nouns within your artwork. If you make music, same thing. If you code, find something that might need some help code-wise, lend a hand there. That's all I really want to see most of the time, to see that you're really about it, you're really down, you're part of the ethos, like you're down with their ethos. And usually that makes it easier to get funding. I won't say funding is easy, it's still governance. There's a lot of politics you still gotta do and things like that. You gotta appeal to the people who hold these tokens, who've been in this community for years, who really care. So it's not just walk in there and you're gonna get funding. It took me 2 years to get my first proposal passed. Now I've done two. I've done a grant program that I ran last year with public Nouns, and I did events for Lil Nouns in Brussels last year at a Ethereum conference. And like I said, it took me 2 years to even just build that trust within the community, just doing different things to let them know, like, I'm not just here. Because like, it's crypto. People are coming to just take your money and you'll never see them again. They won't do anything they propose. They're like, you just wrote a long thing just to lie. It happens. So,
Do you know where they community? Is there a Discord community or?
Next, you can hit the next slide. So, if you're scanning this is a Google Doc with a bunch of links. This is normally how I give presentations. I want to let you guys know this. I don't give presentations with decks. I pull up a Google Doc full of links and I just talk and we click links and I show people things. That's how I do. But for some reason today, I already had a Google Doc and I was going to do that. And today, for no reason, I say, I wonder if I can make a deck with AI. And and I made this whole deck with AI. I just prompted this whole deck. I'm not lying. Like literally like an hour before I came here. And I sat out in the food court and put it in Canva.
I was gonna compliment.
Thank you. I did all this with AI. I prompted each line. I swear. Yeah. So that's not normally what you're gonna look at. That's how I do mine. If you look on my YouTube and see my other talks and workshops, I usually just have a Google slide up. I mean a Google Doc up. But that's a bunch of links to things that I've talked about in like some of the Nounish communities. You can go do your own rabbit holing. You got my information on there also, my YouTube, my LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram. You can find me, hit me up if you got any questions or like just want to talk any of this stuff. I love talking this stuff, obviously. But yeah, that's pretty much it. If you guys got any questions, we can do that and we can just mingle and kick it until we all leave.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.